In part 2, we're going to learn how to create your own unique dishes without a recipe. So in this series, I will talk about some harmonic tips, how to bring your different tasting notes together to create one unique dish, and we will look at 3 different platforms to help you begin creating your no recipe dishes. So the first tip is when using salt or sugar, you should be using it just to bring out the flavors, deepen a profile, or blend together your ingredients. I should never taste salt, and I should never taste sugar. So if you have a tangy dish, such as this passion fruit curry, passion fruit tends to be very tangy, the best way to soften that is either with a little cream, little sugar, or a little salt. So in this, I put coconut curry, I creamed it, and I added a little bit of salt. Any of those are going to soften that tanginess and bring my ingredients together. So to balance the fire of a spicy dish, you can add a little bit of cream or a little bit of sweetness to soften it. If I wanted to do a flavor profile of spicy and tangy, I have this coconut curry with a little bit of fire in it, a little bit of tangy from the passion fruit, and of course the creaminess of the coconut. When you're working with something that's pungent like garlic, when you cut it up, let it rest for about 5 minutes. The same with onions, it's going to soften that pungency. When you're working with the tasting note bitter, you're going to want to add something sweet to soften that. So for example, these turnips here, just add a little bit of caramelized onion and it's perfect. An herb that you've probably heard of is a bay leaf. And I often wondered, what is the point of a bay leaf? Bay leaves work to help blend your flavors together when you're cooking long and slow simmering dishes, or if you add it to pickling, it's going to deepen the flavors. So when creating no recipe dishes, it helps to work with a platform. A platform will give you structure, but it'll still allow you to create your own unique ideas. So the first platform we're going to work with is repurposing leftovers. I have a coconut curry left here. I want to create a unique dish. So I noticed that I also have a yam. So I could pour the coconut curry over the yam, add some hemp seeds, which will give me some protein to the dish. And I'm going to add some fresh herbs, this basil here, to create a coconut curry basil yam. Another platform you can work with is reimagining your favorite dishes as seasonal go-tos. So for example, I really like pea soup. This recipe I have is either a cold or a hot soup. It can work as both. Well, right now artichokes are in season, and so is fresh garlic, which is called green garlic. So instead of using the pea soup, I'm going to substitute out some of the ingredients. I'm going to keep my base ingredients that I really like, and I'm going to add some things that work specifically with artichoke. So for example, in the pea soup, I used mint. In the artichoke soup, I'm going to use basil. I'm also going to remove the cream and replace it with olive oil because that goes really well with artichoke. So another platform is called food crafting, and that's when you're working with the ingredients you have on hand to create a unique dish. So for example, in this case, I looked in my refrigerator and I saw rice, I saw cilantro, I've got some corn tortillas, use a little bit of lime juice, a little jalapeno, my pickled onions, and some romaine lettuce, and a little bit of cheese, and I have a taco. So another way you can food craft is to pick your favorite profile. So for example, if I wanted to create something that was savory and umami, I'm going to use woodsy rosemary, I'm going to use umami mushrooms, I'm going to use a little bit of butter and garlic to get that pungent taste of the garlic, and I'm going to heat it up with the garlic and mushrooms and butter and white wine, and then I'm going to pour that over Faro, which is going to give me a complete dish. So the flavor profile I'm going for is refreshing, crisp, and light. I'm going to do a nice light butter lettuce with some citrus, in this case a tangerine, drizzled with a little bit of lime and olive oil, topped with some mint and some sliced almonds. So if I want to make something that's refreshing and light, but satiating because I'm a little bit hungrier, I can work with some of the same ingredients like the butter lettuce, the mint, but I'm going to add more substantial ingredients like cheese and pistachio nuts. And then I'm going to top it with a dressing that's a little heavier like the olive oil and the fig balsamic. So remember, when you get in your kitchen, there are no wrong combinations. Play with your ingredients, become familiar with the flavor profiles and the tasting notes. Use words that make sense to you to understand it and start creating your own dishes. And always start with quality ingredients. For more information, check the link below.